12 years in that division and they're out.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Seadogs Can Fly, and a very special episode it is. We've got two livecom games for you today, both of which will decide whether the Seadogs win the treble. We're going to Wembley, baby. Before we kick things off, just the formalities. Please do subscribe if you haven't done so already, and click the bell so you get notified when new episodes go live. And if you do enjoy this, why not give us a thumbs up? It really would help the channel. Okay guys, we're starting on the league table screen for a reason. It's been a formality for the last couple of months that we would win the title, but despite Stalybridge Celtic's stout resolution, we finally got over the line with 3 games to spare. Only drawing 1 game and losing 4 all season, which happened near the start to be fair, so I was quite pleased with that. Michael Coulson is still top goal scorer by 5 goals, so that should remain the same. And while I'm a bit gutted we are going to lose our talisman, at the age of 32 his physicals are declining, so it's inevitable that that is going to happen, I am afraid. However, the future looks very bright because England and the UK has just had its youth intakes at the end of April, start of March, and I have taken full advantage of this. Let's begin with a player who wants to stay away from the bread, Jonathan Warburton. No, that was terrible, wasn't it? He's a left back, 17 years old, and while his determination and lack of ambition will be a problem for him to reach that overall potential ability, he has got some very admirable qualities like his work rate, the fact that he's got good vision, bravery, he's quite an aggressive player, and he's got really good free kick taking ability, which will help us massively in the lower leagues. And actually, if you look at him in comparison to our current main left back, Scullion, because remember the left back position has been an issue all year, he's actually a better player, so he will be getting game time. Moving on to Patrick Blackman, we got this chap from FC United on their youth intake day, and he's 16 years old and he reminds me a lot of a player called Ross that I signed back in my FM20 series of Seadogs Can Fly. Ross joined us at the age of 15, and I think it was in our second season. He stayed with us all the way through the leagues and eventually won the Champions League for us. Definitely my favourite new gen of all time, and I'm hoping Blackman can have a similar journey. He's got a few areas of weakness, like his balance, strength and general defensive ability. However, he's got massive potential and a really good personality type, including determination and ambition. So I'm hoping that those attributes are going to fly through the roof, and he'll certainly be able to get a little bit of game time this season and maybe off the bench next season. The next new gen's a bit of a wild card. He's called Steve Mitchell and he's from the Cardiff Met University, same as Warburton. Now I'm not sure what his best position is, to be honest. Those technicals are so terrible it's hard to tell. But he does have good determination, bravery, work rate, teamwork and natural fitness, all of which should aid his development going forward to what is quite a high potential. Ryan Williams comes from the same place and he's not our normal striker. Usually we go for speed and agility, but he's 6'6" and he jumps like a salmon. I'm just loving the fact he's got 20 determination, 13 flair and 13 work rate. It's a really nice mix of attributes there, and the fact he can already finish and has good technique with passing is also quite exciting. Now if you compare him to Michael Coulson, who's our current talisman, he actually fares reasonably well. He's the green attribute wheel there. Not too bad. Yeah, he needs some work on his mentals and his physical game, but everything else looks really good. And then Lee Hurst is another player I'm quite excited about. He can play centre back or right back. We've played him a few games at right back. I think I'm going to try him at centre back purely because if you look at the mix of attributes, as a no-nonsense centre-back, he'd work reasonably well, and that strength will increase over time. All new gen strength does grow rapidly, so I'm not too bothered about that attribute. He does have a good personality. He's an ambitious player that works hard, so he should develop as well. And actually, if you go into here and compare him with Ascenso, who's our second choice centre-back, other than in that defensive area, he's actually a better player, really. So I'm going to give him a go at the end of the season and see how he does. And the last one is Daryl McCall. He's another bit of a wild card, but I reckon he could be a good player. He's got decent all-round ability, and that determination and teamwork, again, attributes I really like in a player. Now, we've got one other player that we haven't actually signed yet, and that's Gary Bowden. He's on trial until he can actually join in a year and a half's time, but he looks quite a tasty prospect as well, with his flair, his finishing, bit of speed there and good technique, so I think he could be a decent player. Right, enough of the kids, let's go into the schedule and find out what's been going on. We're not going to talk about every game in the fixture list, guys, because there's more than 2 months worth there, but I can tell you we're in 29 games unbeaten now and we've won 19 of those, so going very strong. We left off with the Aldershot Town quarter-final in the FA Trophy. I want to pick up at the FC United game. We won that game 3-2, but we were 2-1 down. Coulson came off the bench to score an equaliser before Dorian Samba sent us ahead. That took us nicely into the Gateshead game, which we actually won 2-1, and Tyler Hamilton scored the most exceptional strike in that game. The keeper didn't even move. Moving on to the Stalybridge Celtic game, and these guys were only 6 points behind us going into the match itself, so they could have closed the gap to 3 points. I still kept faith in my youngsters. I brought on Lee Hurst and Warburton, the two 16-year-olds, along with Patrick Blackman, our youngest player. Blackman actually became the youngest player in the division and got an assist to repay our faith. We won 3-0, then thrashed Leek Town 7-0, and the next game I want to talk about is Matlock Town, which had 2 exceptional goals. The first one was from Michael Coulson, arguably a contender for goal of the season. What a strike and a solo run. The next goal is maybe not that impressive, but it is Hurst, my new 16-year-old kid, using his free kick taking ability to get Akuma in. We then went on to beat South Shields in a very dominant display and won the game 7-3. Dorian Samba picked up 3 goals and Farina got a couple, but the one that really stood out to me was Jonathan Warburton's free kick. I mentioned his ability, pick that one out. Great goal, and that's going to hopefully be a returning theme. We then beat Hyde 2-0 and we beat Buxton 3-0, which leads us nicely into the big game, Stalybridge Celtic in the Integro Cup final. So this is part 1 of the treble. Part 2 is going to be Dover Athletic in the FA Trophy final. That's going to be played at Wembley, so can't wait for that one. But let's jump into the Stalybridge Celtic game first of all. So, notable absentees. Hamilton, 18 goals this season, 15 assists, is suspended. So that's a bit of a mare. Also Dawson with 11 assists this season. He's our deep line playmaker. He is also suspended. Now, I did want to play Hurst at centre-back and Warburton at left-back. However, it's too bigger a game to risk. I'm going to keep Warburton at left-back purely for his free kick-taking ability, but Asenso's going to come in for Hurst. He's just got that little bit more experience, which I think we're going to need. Also, instead of Coulson, I'm going to have Yonsian, because I think we're going to need that pace in behind. And I also reckon Coulson will work very nicely off the bench. I want to swap these two around though, because I think Jose Ramon would be better as the deep line playmaker. And that's about it really, so that's going to be the team. Not full strength by any means, hence why I'm also kind of going to the positive mentality. But we've beaten Stalybridge Celtic home and away this season, so if form's anything to go by, we should have a very good chance. And the first highlight is a back pass to Tommy Taylor. Warburton, the 16-year-old, picks the ball up to Ramon. Back to Warburton. Nice little chip over the top that doesn't come off. O'Reilly to Gray. Maita. Both those strikers I'd have loved to have at the start of the season. Ben Kemmis, he's another great player as well. Good central midfielder. Works very well for a lot of National League, North, South teams, and even the National League in general, to be fair. I would have loved to have had him at that level. So they've got a really good team, very good offensively. I think it's at the back that we're going to have our opportunity. So as the game progresses, we may well switch back to that attacking mentality that served us well all season. We've got a throw-in, Warburton. Goes short to Samba, back out to Warburton. Into Ramon. Are we going to build something? No, we're not. We're going to give the ball away, and we've got a lot of players forward. Somebody get a challenge in. Come on. Warburton, well intercepted. Very well played indeed. He almost gives the ball away, but Ramon makes up for it. Samba onto Yonsian, who's got the speed, but can he finish? Oh, just wide. Unlucky. That's the first clear-cut chance of the match after 20 minutes. Play starts up with us again. Jose Ramon, the playmaker, hits the ball in behind to Tint. Can he finish? Can he not? No, he can't. Jose Ramon. He's played really well in deep line playmaker so far, Ramon. Been picking out some good passes. Oh, what a pass to Yonsian. Should have done much better with that. That's another chance gone a begging. That's 3 clear-cut chances now. Well played. Yonsian's got it. And that's a foul, surely. See, highlights like this make me think they're going to score now, because that feels like we got screwed over and that should have been a foul. I bet you they score. Chemis. Mantak. Well cleared. Ascenso. It's back in though. Ascenso again. He's been a man mountain so far. Yonsian cutting inside. He's got good speed. Ooh, nice try. Just not on target. We've got a corner. Samba. In it comes. Oh, it's a scramble. Warburton, the 16-year-old left-back, scores his second goal of the season. Complete scramble in the box, but we will take it. Very nicely done indeed. Samba with the corner. Wreaking havoc. It went everywhere, and Warburton just squeezes the ball over the line. We're going to have to be a little bit wary, I think, and maybe go into a cautious mentality. I think it could suit us quite well. Just to sit a few more players back and give us that extra bit of cover, then hit Stalybridge Celtic on the counter, because they're going to have to start coming forward soon. Samba with the corner to Ramon. Moves it out to Farina, who's been tackled, and it's one-on-one. Oh, what a tackle. Who's that? I think that's a sensor. Quality challenge, that. Either that or it's Farina. Either way. Stalybridge Celtic still on it, but Ramon, the playmaker, another quality pass. He has been brilliant, Ramon, today. Absolutely brilliant. Yonsian, unfortunately, has not. He's going to be coming off soon because he's been pretty woeful with his finishing. We should have been 2 or 3-0 up by now. Yonsian with a header down to Samba. Samba's got the speed. He's got the skill. He can't finish for gravy, though. Terrible, terrible effort right there. Give it another 10 minutes, lads, and we'll have some changes to make, I think. And Gaze to Farina. And Gaze again, ball in behind. Tint's in. If we don't score this, they're both coming off. That's it. I've had enough. Absolute garbage. What are you both doing? Right, both strikers off. And I think we're probably going to have to make one more change. Maybe get Brooksby on for Glynn. Because Brooksby tends to do very well off the bench, which we've seen a number of times this season. Ball over the top, and Gaze, the right wing back, crosses it to Tint. Great save by the Stalybridge goalkeeper. We've had 5 clear-cut chances now and 2 half chances. That is why I've decided to bring both strikers off. We've now got the 16-year-old Williams, who is a fish in the air, and Michael Coulson, the poacher and legend. See what we can get from that. Ramon with the ball in the box. Samba crosses. Brooksby, sorry. Brooklyn's my local youth team. We are seeing a massive difference in playing the positive mentality compared to the attacking, in fairness. There's definitely more bodies back than I'd usually expect. As Warburton stands over the free kick. Oh, nearly. That was nearly an absolute screamer. We've played decent, I would say. I've been really, really impressed with Jose Ramon. I think he's had an exceptional game. And Warburton scoring the goal was great to see. But other than that, going forward, we've lacked, to be honest, massively. Samba with the corner. Can we finish the game off, though? Jose Ramon. Marina. Farina. God, what am I talking about? It's in. Nacho Farina. Not Marina. Getting me R's, me M's and me F's mixed up. So an assist for Jose Ramon and the goal for Farina. Really great finish there. Nicely worked from the corner and then tucked into the top corner of the Stalybridge Celtic net. That should finish the game off, guys. We should hopefully be lifting the Integro trophy, which will be our second trophy of the season. And there you go. Celebrations begin. Excellent. Happy with that. On to the next one, I think. Lads have played well. Like I say, Ramon deservedly gets player of the match. I thought he was fantastic. So often you see performances like that with them pinging the ball left, right and centre, and then FM never acknowledges it with a proper rating. So it's good to see that they did there. Right, guys, we have a game coming up that we're not going to bother watching. We're going to skip straight to the FA Trophy final in just a second. Right, guys, we just won 3-1 in the league. Williams, our 16-year-old striker, scored his third goal of the season, I think, so that's really great to see. I wanted to have a quick look at the Cup final team meeting. I don't usually do these, but I think this is a really simple meeting for us. I just want to calmly tell them to just enjoy the occasion, because we're not favourites, Dover Athletic are, and they've responded really well to it, so that is good to see. Hopefully we'll see that come across on the pitch. Let's have a quick look at what the tactic's going to look like for today. So we're sticking with the 4-4-2, and I've gone back to the attacking mentality. While my scouts are telling me they generally play a cautious mentality, this is Dover, they are the favourites, so I'd be surprised if they do. And they may have 3 at the back, but I think that we can do quite well on the attacking mentality, which is what served us well against the other big teams. So team news, we're going to have Coulson come in, because I felt like Jonsian was terrible in the last match. Hamilton's back from his suspension, so that's massive for us, as is Dawson. I'm going to keep Jose Ramon in the deep line playmaker role, purely because of how amazing he was in the last game. Samba sticks out on the left side, Warburton on the left full back position, and Ngaze right back. Now, we've had a switch up at the back, purely because our second choice centre-back Ascenso is suspended. So Hurst, the 16-year-old kid, is going to have to make his debut at centre-back, I'm afraid. A little bit nervous about that. That's why I've stuck him on the right side, because Ngaze is the stronger player. At least then Akuma can cover for Warburton, because they are both young, and this is a really, really big match. We've got big players on the bench and big players on the pitch. So I'm hoping that we've got enough cover there to actually do something. They're just looking rather defensive there, aren't they? Really crowded out in the middle, so we'll have to see how the game pans out. I haven't come up against a system like that, so it'll be interesting to see how the game pans out. First highlights our corner. Dawson crosses it in to Akuma. Tint picks up the loose ball. Back in again. Hamilton on the end of it, just over the bar. Agonising. Dover Athletic are looking uninterested, according to their body language. Oh, I don't believe it. Thankfully, it's been disallowed for offside, but that would have been a horrible way to concede. It's been quite a nervy start to the game. This is the thing with cup finals. It never rings true to the way the rest of the season goes. They are complete one-offs. Oh, Tint grazes the bar. We've had a few chances, but none of them clear-cut. Now, I don't think we're going to have many clear-cut chances in this game. When you consider they've got 3 centre-backs, a DMC and 2 central midfielders, there's absolutely no room to move in the middle of the park. I don't think we can really blame Ramon and Dawson for having pretty average ratings at the moment. They are completely crowded out. Let's try and passionately give these lads a little bit of a lift. There we go. Tell them all I believe in them. Give them a pat on the back and send them out into the second half. 0-0 in the FA Trophy final at Wembley. This would make for the treble in our first season with Scarborough Athletic, as Ngaze gets dispossessed. Munns works the ball forward. Rigg picks it up. Over the top to Pollien. And great save by Taylor. I thought they were going to score then. This is the danger with them sitting so deep, hitting us on the counter like that with balls over the top. Hurst isn't the quickest of centre-backs either. Oh, that was a goal-mouth scramble for you. See, they've had a clear-cut chance and an half chance now. We may need to make some substitutions rather soon, I think. Let's see who's playing badly. So Hamilton and Samba are struggling. What we're going to do is we'll have Hamilton on the left side, because he does well cutting inside, we know that. Glynn can come in on the right. And then up front, I'm going to bring Tint off to start with for Jonsian, and we'll leave it at that. We're then going to have a look at what other changes I may need to make a little bit later on in the match, because this could go to extra time. And Ngaze with the throw-in. Coulson can't do anything with it. Dawson picks up the loose ball, but it could be another counter for Dover. Akuma Well dealt with. Warburton, back to Akuma. Ball over top to Hamilton. Warburton again. Come on, play it down the wing. Pass it. Hamilton. What can he do? The lad from Hull. Oh, nearly. Yonsian. And he fouls. He's fouled. This is a tight affair. They're so negative, it's unbelievable. 3 centre-backs, DMC and 2 central midfielders. How more defensive do you want to go? But if it wins you matches, that's all that matters. And to be fair, they're the better team at the moment. They've had 2 clear-cut chances and 2 half chances. They finished below mid-table in the National League South this season, so it's not served them well in the league. Warburton with the throw-in. Comes in long. Hamilton. Coulson! Oh my God! Coulson scores! 20 minutes left. 32nd goal of the season for our talisman, Michael Coulson. Tyler Hamilton, after switching wings, managed to get onto the end of a loose ball. And this has been where the threat has looked most likely for us. I think we're going to have to make some changes in a minute. I just want to see this highlight out. Good tackle by Warburton. Well done. Coulson picks it up. Through ball. Go on. Hamilton's in. He's got the speed, but can he finish? Yes, he can. Game, set and match. There we go. 2-0. Just like that, the game has swung in our favour. We're going to tell them to regroup and hold the shape, because the way Dover are playing, they're going to have no choice but to change things up here. And we're going to bring Coulson off for Ryan Williams, the 16-year-old target man. I know Coulson has just scored, so you'll be thinking it's criminal to bring him off, but I feel like it's the right move at the right time. Coulson. Can we get one more before the tactical switch? Glynn with the header on. Yonsian's in, and he scores. Bottom corner. And that's been allowed as well. 3-0 in the FA Trophy final at Wembley. 19th goal of the season for Yonsian. And Kieran Glynn gets the assist from off the bench. So another good switch tactically there. Yonsian was another substitution we brought on. So the game has gone exactly as we planned it to. If you believe that, you'll believe anything. Good result this, very good result. It was a tight affair at the start. They could have easily gone 1 or 2 up. And as you can see, they've now changed their system. They've moved that DMC to AMC. And that should open up some gaps in behind. But I can't see this going anywhere other than full time any minute now. Hurst over the ball. Oof. Good save by the keeper. That's the great thing with having a right-footed free kick specialist and a left-footed free kick specialist. You can pick and choose. And there you go, boys. We've won the FA Trophy in the first season. Bearing in mind, we're in the 7th tier of English football. That's 2 divisions below the National League. We've beaten 3 National League teams. In fact, no, 4 National League teams to be precise, to lift the trophy. We even beat the champions of the National League, who will be playing League 2 football next season. That's Yeovil. So really, really happy with that. We had 4 clear-cut chances. We were the better, more positive team overall. And I think the attacking strategy was vindicated in the end. We've won the famous treble. Victorious. £60,000 for that game. Bearing in mind we started the season with just more than £100,000. That's quite big for the club. And let's just have a quick look at the finances. So we've now got £454,000 in the bank. That's huge. Before the game, we had less than 250 grand in the bank. So we've almost doubled our bank balance with that one game at Wembley. And you can see where we started the season, slightly in debt. Now all the way up to almost $500,000. So that's looking really good. We'll have a look very soon at what the board will let us improve, which is probably nothing. Well, it's been a great season, guys. I'm really happy with it. Promotion at the first time of asking. We've won the treble, and we've got a really good squad to take forward into next season. We're going to leave it there for now. There may well be a season review coming up, or we may just jump straight into next season, dependent on how many players I'm going to be getting rid of. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe. Hit the bell button to get alerted when new episodes go live. And if you enjoyed the episode, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. Be much appreciated. It'd help the channel greatly. Right, chaps, I will love you and leave you. Ta-ra.